The Pentagon just released 40 more UFO files, and one of them describes a silent object drifting over a nuclear weapons facility with no visible means of propulsion. Now, before we jump straight to aliens, let's slow down, because these files don't prove that extraterrestrials are visiting Earth, but they do prove that the United States government has collected reports of objects it still cannot confidently explain. In May of 2026, the Pentagon began releasing government UFO records through a new public system called Pursue. By July, 4 separate groups of files have been released. The latest contain documents, military videos, audio recordings, and images from agencies including the Pentagon, NASA, the FBI, the CIA, and the Department of Energy. And buried inside those records are some seriously strange encounters. In 2015, surveillance radar detected an unknown object moving near the Pantex nuclear weapons facility in Texas. Security officers followed it for several miles. They described it roughly diamond-shaped, about 4 feet tall, moving only 10 to 15 miles per hour. They reported hearing no sound and seeing no visible propulsion systems. The facility secured its gates, officers tracked the object using cameras and binoculars, and the evidence was eventually turned over to the FBI. But the object was never publicly identified. Then there's a report from 2019. An aviator with 28 years of experience said he saw a small object traveling in the opposite direction at high speed. He trapped it for several seconds before attempting to record it. After reviewing the footage, the object appeared rectangular. The aviator said its flight characteristics were unlike anything he'd seen during his career, and other experienced personnel on board couldn't identify it either. But maybe the strangest material goes all the way back to 1949. That year, scientists gathered at Los Alamos to discuss mysterious green fireballs appearing near the nuclear laboratory. They considered meteors, auras, balloons, and psychological explanations. But according to the conference transcript, multiple incidents had been confirmed by independent observers, and several characteristics didn't behave like ordinary meteors. No recovered spacecraft, no alien bodies, just trained scientists sitting in a classified meeting trying to explain something they couldn't confidently explain. And that brings us to the most important word in this entire story: unresolved. The government itself says these cases are unresolved because there isn't enough information to determine exactly what was observed. That doesn't mean alien spacecraft. A blurry object could be a balloon, a drone, a satellite, an aircraft, or even a sensor artifact. But unidentified doesn't mean imaginary either. Something was observed. Something triggered radar systems, military sensors, and official investigations. And decades later, some of these cases still don't have answers. So did the Pentagon finally prove that aliens are here? No, but it did confirm something almost as interesting. Behind all the rumors, blurry videos, and wild theories, there are real government records describing encounters that remain unexplained. Maybe future analysis will solve every one of these. Or maybe the most important evidence is still sitting inside a classified file. This is Project Curiosity. If this made you think, hit the like button. Subscribe and join us for the next question. Stay curious. Question everything.